All right, we are live. Welcome to a Sunday night. It is Sunday, June 1st. Can you even believe it? We have entered June. We have entered summer. Good morning, Silly Lily. Nice to see you in here. Listen, here in Michigan, you would not think it's summer. Look at me, I'm still in a sweatshirt. It's still about only, I don't think it got over 65 today. We are dying for some summer weather. I think we're going to get, we might get up in the 80s 2 days this week, maybe 3. And it's a challenge. It's interesting because, tonight's topic is talking about lifestyle medicine. How do we use lifestyle to really breathe into ourselves to help optimize our every single day as we walk through life. And what's interesting is I think the weather plays a huge role in this. Now, I live in Michigan and I understand that we have these, very sort of bipolar days. This is probably the toughest time of year for me personally, because as we start to move into May, really, if we just talk about what's happening in May, usually May starts to give us a few warmer days. We've had maybe 1 or 2, and it gives us that hope for summer and summertime and the warmer weather. And we're going to talk about this in today's show, is how does the warmer weather breathe life into your ability to optimize you and optimize your wellness. And when you don't get that, it's incredible how nobody's happy. I have to tell you. I mean, in general, people are still relatively happy people, but it's this interesting dynamic where when it's not warm enough, meaning we haven't reached summer yet, and we get mad, we get angry, because, and especially if you live in a climate like this, where you really only get, I say, maybe 10 weeks. I mean, you think like it's June 1st today. So maybe 10, maybe 12 weeks of good, warm summer weather. That's it. And then the rest of it is cool and rain and cold and snow and sleet and ice. And it plays a role on your mental wellness. So just putting that out there is that it's not as warm as I would like it to be. I'm waking up every morning. And what I love to do is I love to walk out on my patio, get a little bit of that morning sunlight, sit outside with the dog, throw the ball for him a little bit, and just, take in what's happening in the morning. And while I'm doing that, it's cold. It's been in the 40s. So that's my beef with where we're at with weather. What I do want to do is welcome everybody in. We are streaming from several channels right now. We're streaming to my YouTube channel. We're streaming to Facebook. And we are also streaming to It's All About the Biology. So I want to welcome everybody from all channels in, and especially from It's All About the Biology. We appreciate you all being here and welcome you in. I know we're new to your channel. We're not new to our channels, but Ken Somerville has been so gracious in streaming this information that I talk about on a weekly basis. And then, of course, I have Chiropractic is Sexy with Dr. Erica Peabody every Thursday, and just bringing you all the information about health and wellness. And the goal is really to help provide you with information that is not confusing. All the information that you see out there in the world, that you see on the interwebs, that is like, one day eggs are bad for you, the next day eggs are good. One day you should eat meat, the next day you shouldn't. This is the channel, or this is the show, I should say, that provides you with the ability to make an informed decision, to know whatever that confusing information is it good for you? Where does it fit into your life, and how does it help you? And I will say also that if you're in the chat, I love your comments, really want to hear what you have to say. And I will always be truthful with what you want to share. I will make my best attempt to provide answers and solutions that are actionable. I won't always know your full background, so please keep that in mind, that if there's something I can't answer, it may just simply because, number one, I'm not your doctor and I don't know your full history. So that would, require just a whole deep dive. But I will do my best to answer your questions as best as I possibly can. And so let me see what Silly Lily has to say. Seasonal affective disorder, type of depression related to changes in season. It is a thing. It is a real thing. And a lot of that comes from our lack of exposure to sunlight. Now, we've had a kind of a sunny day today. We had a sunny day yesterday. And just to give you some insight as to the seasonal affective disorder, even if it's sunny, so even in the winter, the cold winter days, we walk outside and the sun's shining and we're like, oh my God, it's so good to see the sun shining, but it's so cold, you can't stay out there that long. So I attended an event yesterday. I had a table set up. It was at a local ranch and we were set up in the riding, the barn, basically the riding area. And it was about 60 degrees all day. It was very, very windy and very breezy. And they had the doors open in the riding area. And it was literally, it felt like standing in front of an air conditioner for 4 solid hours. I was miserable. I kept trying to go outside to try to get warm, to try to get into the sunlight. And I couldn't warm up and I would go back inside and it was, thank you, Lily, riding arena. Yeah, that's it. The arena. But it's interesting. So when we think about, we seek the sunlight, and I did a talk a couple of weeks ago with regards to vitamin D and sunshine and why we should not block ourselves from the sun, meaning wearing clothing all summer long, or perhaps even putting on sunblock all summer long. And I had a woman come up to me afterwards and she said, I want to show you pictures of my cat. And she showed me these pictures of her cat, and her cat, all these pictures were her cat it's an indoor cat laying in the sunlight shadow, or the beam of sunlight that's coming into her house. And she's like, he won't lay in the shade area. As long as there's sun coming in, he will lay in the sun. And this is how we are as beings, is that we seek the sun. It's so healthy for us. So before we even get into using lifestyle as medicine, I want to encourage you, as we go into the warmer months, please do not block your body from the sun. Hey, Chef Tech, it's so nice to see you. Haven't seen you around in a while. So good to see you popping in here. Thank you so much for joining us. So that's always going to be, you're probably, especially as we come into the summer months, and I'm doing more of my lives through the summer months, you're probably going to hear me say more about making sure you are getting your vitamin D. There is no substitute for our natural exposure to sun. Hey, Ken Marth, nice to see you. Thanks for being here. Yes, we have to get that. There's multiple different types of vitamin D, and we can only get that through sunlight. So we can take vitamin D3, which is what I recommend for everybody. And, I always recommend, let's take that year round. Yes, year round, because we think, summertime's coming and, oh, well, I'll be outside gardening, but no, you're putting clothes on, you're blocking you're putting sunblock, you're still blocking your body's ability to get that exposure and to produce the vitamin D that you need. So take your vitamin D and get out in the sun. You will not overexpose yourself. I promise you. So
I hate to jump on, but I just wanted to add something.
Sure, Ken.
Sun gazing, the first sun in the morning and the sun as it sets, it's actually producing more energy into your body because of the photons that your eyes are able to interact with, that you're in a different spectrum. The charged energy, if you check out Dr. Gerald Pollock in the fourth phase of water and how your body and the water in your body is energized, those 2 times of the day are extremely important. So if anybody's really has red hair and they can't go out in the sun, try that first thing as the sun rises and as the sun sets. Check out the sun gazing, and you'll understand how important those times of the day are for getting sunlight.
That's great input. So thank you, Ken, for that. For anyone on my channels who don't know who that was Ken, and Ken has his own channel as well, as he runs the It's All About the Biology channel. So make sure you're following that. And Ken, if you could just go ahead and pop up your link to your channel. And it's interesting because every time I talk to Ken and we have a conversation, and he'll say to me, "It's all about the biology." Every time I say something, I'm like, that is so true. And I think that's why we just really connected on the information that we're putting out there. So I do want to spin off a little bit. I do have some notes for us for lifestyle medicine, but let's just talk about what Ken just said, because I think it's really important that you hear that message. And I was saying, I like to go outside in the morning. I like to get out there. I like to get that first bit of sunlight. I look to look up at the sky. And what happens when you wake up in the morning is you have certain hormones that are they're in your body. There's let's just say in the morning let's use this. These are my scales. Okay, so melatonin, that's our sleep hormone, and in the morning we want that to go down. And cortisol is our wake hormone, and we want that to come up. And cortisol gets demonized because of stress, and cortisol is responsible for a lot of illness, a lot of inflammation, a lot of adrenal fatigue. It can be demonized also for weight gain, cardiac issues. But in reality, if we're managing our hormones properly, if we're managing certain things that we're going to talk about in lifestyle medicine today, we can actually utilize sunlight to our benefit. So when you go outside in the morning, what you're actually doing is you're helping through those wavelengths of light, you're helping melatonin and other hormones and other chemicals to start to go down in the body. And then you're helping your other hormones and biochemicals to start to go up, that help to wake you up, that energize you, that help you to think, that get you moving along your day. And so this is why it's so hard in the wintertime to get up when it's dark, because the sunlight is what actually helps to start to switch these hormones and these biochemicals so you can get up and do what you need to do. But when it's dark outside and you set an alarm and you're like, oh my God, I'm trying to get up, and you're getting up in the dark and your body's not ready for that. You still have high sleep hormones. You don't quite have your wake hormones. So I do recommend in the wintertime to make sure you're getting like those sunlight lamps, because they're like an alarm. You can actually set them to start to slowly turn the light on, and when you need to get up, let's say it's 5 a.m., and it will gently pull you out of your sleep cycle. When you get pulled hard out of a sleep cycle when it's dark outside, it's very difficult. Your body struggles. You struggle to wake up. You struggle to stay awake. You don't feel quite as refreshed. So I do highly recommend those. I will talk more about that as we go more into the colder weather. But for today, I do want to discuss more about, because we can get outside, let's utilize as many of our natural resources as we possibly can. So I'm looking at my windows right there, so I always look in that direction. But I go outside, I get that sunlight. Now, also keeping in mind, if you work in an office all day or if you're in your house all day, you need to go outside in the middle of the day, because all throughout the day, there are different wavelengths of light that help your body to regulate health all day long. So it's not just that morning light and it's not just the evening light, but it's all of it. So get outside. Like if you can take a break during the day, go outside. Make sure you're getting sunlight. Make sure you're looking up at the sky. This whole, I'll just call it nonsense. Don't look directly in the sun. It'll blind you. Well, listen, the sun's so bright, you can't look directly at it. So nobody's going to be like trying to look directly at the sun. It just doesn't. That's always been something that's made me laugh. So look up at the sky, get the light, get those rays of light into your retina. And what's interesting is that you can actually help the way you get the light through your eyes, that can actually help with vitamin D production as well. And I think Ken mentioned something with regards to, I can't remember, Ken, if you mentioned something about skin color. So light skin, dark skin, like I'm Mediterranean, I'm Lebanese. So people with lighter skin, they actually absorb their vitamin D faster than me. Or somebody who's Black, who's Hispanic. If you have darker skin, you have to spend more time outside to get the depth of rays to actually get your vitamin D production. So you have to keep that in mind too. So a lot of people who are fair skinned, they'll say, I can't be outside because I burn. Well, you don't need to be outside that long, because that's how nature has created you, is that you can go outside for 5 minutes and you can probably develop 40,000 units of vitamin D in a 5-minute period of time. I don't know the actual numbers on that, but I know like within 5 to 10 minutes, it's very like it's like up to 100,000 units. Like it's some crazy amount of vitamin D. So when people are like, oh, I don't want to take too much vitamin D because I can get toxic. And I'm like, kind of impossible to do that. Kind of impossible. So I know somebody on the chat's going to say to me, I know somebody who they got poisoned from vitamin D. All right. I know there's always one person, you guys know who I'm talking about. Let me see what Lily's saying here. Your skin can make vitamin D when exposed to sunlight. UVB rays from the sun hit cholesterol in the skin, triggers the process of vitamin D production. Yes, ma'am. Chef Tech says, found a place locally that does red light therapy, among other cool things. I'll likely try it out and report back. Awesome. I would love to hear about that. That sounds amazing. And popsicle. You talking about that? No. Mm-mm. That is my electrolytes. I did not get my electrolytes in today. So I have my electrolytes, my creatine, and my vitamin C that I am taking in. Hi, Kenny, by the way. Yes, nice to see you, my friend. Always good to see you. Chef Tech says, I stopped wearing sunglasses and my nearsighted vision seems to be getting a little better. Interesting you said that, because I actually, when it's super bright sunlight outside, I don't wear sunglasses. I don't need them. I had LASIK surgery back 20 years ago or so. Let me think, 25 years ago. And I was very light sensitive for a few years. But where the light sensitivity comes in is like if it's overcast out, there seems to be more of a glare when it's overcast. But when it's super bright out, like right now, or it's the evening at 6:19, I won't put sunglasses on, but I will, like if it's when I get that weird glare, I feel some eye strain, so I will put some glasses on there. So respect that if you feel that for yourself, but for the most part, most people are just like, it's habit. You go outside, you throw your sunglasses on. So I would just encourage you to try your best to just, what would happen if you didn't wear sunglasses, and see how you did. Chef Tech, post which link? I'm so sorry. That was so long ago that I don't remember what I was talking about. If you could
It's
just.
the link to my channel, and I already posted it.
Oh, got it. Okay, perfect. Okay, wonderful. Yes. So make sure you're following Ken, and it's all about the biology. And Ken's got some great shows that he's hosting my show over there. He's hosting several other people over there. So really, really cool stuff. So yes, thanks for posting that. And yeah, I have two Kens on here. I have Ken Marth and I have Kenny. So Ken and Kenny. Okay. All right. We got all that going on. Oh, great, Chef. Thank you so much for getting over there. We appreciate the support over on Ken's channel. So when at work, I would take my packed lunch and walk to the park to enjoy it. I usually head off. There's I call it a soccer field. It's just a big field behind a church, two buildings away from mine at the office. And I walk over there, and it's about not quite 5 times around is about a mile. And I take Bentley and I let him run, and I walk and I just soak up the sun, and getting that midday walk in. And this is part of lifestyle medicine. And I'm a little off script with giving you guys this, but I think the light topic was so important that we need to address that. But walking, taking a break in the middle of your day, critical to your mental health, critical to your physical health. So if you can get out and walk 10 minutes in the middle of the day, you're actually going to reset your brain for your afternoon. So what that does for me is I get out, I go for that walk, I take the dog, I'm getting fresh air, I'm out of the office. So I'm out of the environment that is like, it's stressful because it's my business, it's like, think about this. When you have to sit and think all day long, it's hard. It's really hard. It's hard on me. It's hard on you mentally. It's hard on you physically. There are some days that I leave the office and I'm just exhausted. I'm exhausted physically because I had to tap in so much mentally to help so many people. You're listening to their problems all day. You're problem solving. So think about what it is for you in your day-to-day life that you just need, and maybe it's not even stressful. Maybe you don't even manage people or have to sit in front of a computer. Let's just say you're out, you're gardening all day. We still got to take a break. You still have to rest. You have to rest your brain. I love telling people, go do something different for 5 minutes. Change the environment. Change what your brain is thinking. Change what your body is doing. And it's amazing how when you go back to that thing, you actually become far more productive in what you're doing. So I do want to encourage you, don't forget that. Schedule that time in. I was checking my schedule today for tomorrow, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have a meeting tomorrow at lunch, which is amazing. And I'm like, I'm going to the gym. I missed the gym yesterday because I had this event. So I'm going to go to the gym, and hopefully I'll have a little extra time to take a walk outside, but I do need to get an extra workout in today. So when you start to look at planning what your body needs, planning what your lifestyle needs, and that is really, that's a key component, is that you can't just go, oh, I didn't have time today, so I'm not going to do it. You have to plan a lot of what you need in order to get your body optimized for longevity. Lily says, when at work, I would take a packed lunch. Oh, wait, we got to that one. Bob W says, cool talk. Thank you so much, Bob. I appreciate you being here. Rudy is giving us the time. So thank you so much, Rudy. I appreciate you being here. And Lily says it's important to get sunshine, especially if you live in the north. Exactly. Which is why, and this talk that I did last week, 2 weeks ago, maybe. And I was like, one of the biggest things that we do as humans. So let's just say it's wintertime, the house is closed up, the the heat is on. And then many people keep their curtains drawn because they're like, oh, I shut the curtains because otherwise it gets too cold. If I don't, the curtains act as an insulator, it gets too cold. I got to keep the curtains shut. And so then summer comes and then curtains stay shut. And instead of heat being on, you put the air conditioning on and you never open the freaking windows. So open your windows, get airflow. Your house needs to breathe as much as you do. Open the curtains. I mean, I have every curtain open in my home right now. You can't quite see the light coming in on me, but I don't close my curtains until nighttime, until it's time to close the curtains. And it's that, even that light coming in. Now, those rays aren't going to be as effective as if I was actually outside getting them directly on my skin, but it's still that beautiful sunlight coming in, and it does affect my eyes, and it's does so much more for your mental health and sharpness than just having those windows closed. It's depressing. When I walk into people's homes, like, leave a comment for me if you ever walk into people's homes and they always have their curtains closed. Do you guys know people like that? I'm like, I don't get it. Open your freaking windows, please. So yes. So Lily, 100% correct, is that we hide. We're like vampires. We hide from the sun. We cannot do that. The sun is our friend, and we need to seek the sun, much like this woman who came up to me after my talk to share with me about how her cat has to seek the sun, and we have to do the same thing. Let's see. Kenny says, used to wear glasses, and Sexay, I did. I wore glasses since I was in the 2nd grade, and I got LASIK done when I was like 31, 32. So it was back in 02, maybe, I think. You guys can do math on how old I am. But yeah, it was amazing. And then interestingly enough, the doctors had said to me, well, when you turn 40, you're going to need reading glasses. And I was like, okay. Turn 40, didn't need them. Turn 50, didn't need them. Not quite 60, still don't need them. But that's because I am doing all the things that I need to do to support eye health. I do believe it's because I stopped wearing sunglasses. And of course, doing all the lifestyle things that we need to be doing to support the nerves that go to the eyes. So Chef Tech says, I drive for work. All windshields have a UV film that block the UV rays we need. Yeah. Which is why when you're able to get out in the sun, we really need to make sure that you're tapping into that. Go out there, like, don't put clothes on. Obviously, if you burn and it's noon, go out at like 10, 11, and just go out for a few minutes. Go out like 5 minutes at a time and make sure you're getting that exposure. So let's see. Lily says, lifestyle medicine, we're getting there. Yes, we are. And okay, I had something pop up there. Chef Tech says, as of 7/13, I'll be working from home on the PC. Fortunately, I can't work on the deck or the cabin. If the cell signal is good, I'll have to get up and walk around. Yeah, that's an issue I have too. I'm going to try to get another computer, a better computer, so I can be sitting when I do these shows. My computers, like, I have to be right here inside my house, and I can't tell you how much, when it's beautiful out, like, it drives me crazy not to be outside. It's not great right now, so I'm okay with being inside, but still, it would be wonderful to be able to be outside for the show. And Lily says, think of the moisture trapped in your home, showers, cooking, etc. Open those windows. And this is how we get mold. In that people will say, oh, I don't want to open my windows because of the pollen and the mold. And it's like, you need to get the airflow. Like, old farm homes were built, they were drafty for a reason. They never really had mold because they were drafty. They had airflow, and they were designed that way. So it is really important that you get your, that you're able to get that airflow. AL Telescope, thanks for being here. Are skylights good? I don't necessarily know if they're good from a perspective of, are you going to get the health benefit from the light coming in? But personally, if I had a skylight in my home or my office, like having a sunroof in my car is a non-negotiable. So light makes me happier. Um, so whatever neurological benefit that gives you, I think that's just really important to tap into. So if you have a skylight, embrace it, and go sit where the skylight is. Get some of that light. Let's see. Da-da-da. Haven't even gotten to my show notes yet. You guys are asking such great questions. I'm doubling up on Ken's channel with Mad Chick Acres channel. That's awesome. Oh my gosh, Mad Chick Acres. I haven't seen them in a while. So yeah, I should probably tune into them when we're done here. So thank you so much, Chef Tech, for being here and for giving everybody the watch. Appreciate that. They do bring in light, illuminating dark areas. Yeah, and it's kind of like, you get that. Like I said, light to me brings happiness. Light makes me feel better. Light, I just feel better with it. So, can't give you any scientific evidence about the light coming through. You figure most skylights have a film over them to block, the rays, but I don't care. It's light. So, in fact, if I get into somebody's car and they don't have a sunroof, or if I have to rent a car and it doesn't have a sunroof, I'm like sad. Like, oh my gosh, I want my sunroof. Most skylights have the UV film. Oh, there's Mad Chick. How are you? Nice to see you, Mad Chick. And they're both me. Oh, there we go. Okay. That's awesome. Oh, Chef Tech and yes, got it. Okay. I forgot that those are all you. Yes. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it. Okay, little hydration there. All right, you guys are asking amazing questions. And let me go ahead. I want to go over to my show notes because there are a few things here. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about with lifestyle medicine is that, I know I'm hearing this term more, and I don't know if you're hearing the term more, lifestyle medicine. I don't even know if anybody knows what that means, which is why I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to bring some light to what does that mean? What is lifestyle medicine? Is it something that you should be looking into? Is it something that will benefit you? And the answer is yes. You don't necessarily need to look into it because I'm going to talk about it right here. But lifestyle medicine is literally just that. It's how do we take lifestyle habits and turn them into things that will benefit our health and our life for longevity. And so there's the many pillars of health, and we can use different lifestyle habits to start to restructure what we do in our world and help it benefit and optimize what we might be going through. So many people, and what's interesting as well is, like, yesterday when I went to do this event, I had probably had a dozen women come up to me, and every single one of them asked me, do you help women in perimenopause or menopause? And I was like, yes, of course I do. I do that through lifestyle medicine, through lifestyle habits, helping people tap into where they need to focus. And what's interesting is that every single one of these women were like, yeah, I'm having X, Y, and Z. I don't know what to do. I haven't been able to find help. So I feel like this is really where many women who are struggling with menopause, with hormonal issues, they must start to tap into the lifestyle medicine world. And yes, not pharma at all, Mad Chick. So thank you for clarifying that. And, this is where, I had a woman yesterday, she said to me, young woman, probably in her 20s, has many, many health issues, was afraid to come to the chiropractor. She was like, oh my God, you kill people. And I'm like, actually, I haven't killed anybody yet, but there's so much ignorance out there in the world with regards to all holistic therapies, not just chiropractors. But I'm like, if chiropractors were killing people, we would not be in business. And she's like, well, I have a friend of mine. And I'm like, oh yeah, there's always one person who knows somebody who knows somebody. And she went off on this thing, and this guy that she knew, and he got injured by a chiropractor. He got paralyzed by a chiropractor, and he needed surgery, and he had to have rods in his spine and all this. And I go, that doesn't sound right. And so he was apparently in this magazine. So I pull up the magazine. Turns out the guy played competitive, like professional hockey, and had multiple injuries from hockey, multiple, like compression fractures and all kinds of stuff. And in his article, he actually blamed his condition on the chiropractor. And I was like, I'm calling bullshit. Like, I'm sorry. So, okay, I'm getting off tangent. Anyway, so this young woman, she says, oh yeah, I eat Tylenol and Advil like it's candy. And I'm like, I go, but you're not afraid of liver failure. You're not afraid of bleeding ulcers. You're not afraid of, kidney failure. She was like, well, no, I mean, I never thought of it like that. And I go, yeah, just because you can walk into a store and buy the stuff doesn't mean it's safe. So, she was a vendor right next to me. And I think maybe by the end of the show, she was, she was thinking like, oh, okay, maybe this is something I should look into. But the whole idea behind lifestyle medicine is that we have to get away from this I guess mindset, or this teaching that if you have a pain, you take a pill. There's a pill for every ill, and that healing is a process. It does not just happen overnight. So your lifestyle has to be in alignment with your desire to want something greater in your future. And so you have to commit to time, you have to commit the energy, and oftentimes you have to commit to financial things. You also have to commit to not doing things. So there's 6 pillars that I like to talk about when it comes to lifestyle medicine. And the first one is nutrition. And of course, I talk about nutrition on a regular basis. And what do we do from a nutritional perspective? How do we really clean up our diets? How do we have, healthy food, healthy meals, so that our bodies are actually getting nourished and not just, we're not just putting calories in, right? And so Ken just popped up. It's all about the biology, and it is all about the biology all the time. And so we have to nourish our bodies. So when you're eating something, when something is in front of you, eating or drinking, is it there? Is it going to nourish you, or is it going to harm you? And you have to start asking yourself that question. What is this thing? Like, this is my electrolytes with my vitamin C and my creatine. This is actually nourishing me. This is going to help my brain. It's going to help my gut. It's going to help my sleep. It's going to help my joints feel better. It's going to help anything inflammatory that might be going on in my body. So you have to start asking yourself, what is this, good fuel or bad fuel? Same thing with the foods that you're eating. Is it good fuel or bad fuel? And so, oftentimes we talk about what kind of nourishment are you getting? I've done so many shows on specifics of that, and I want to make sure I get through all the 6 pillars. But when it comes to food, I would say go protein forward. I am a proponent of an animal-based diet. So you could do tons of veggies, and then, make sure you're getting some kind of high quality animal protein in there. So whether it's fish, whether it's grass-fed beef, good high quality chicken, something in there, venison, wild game. Those are really great ways to make sure you're getting good quality protein. It's also very anti-inflammatory when you can eat like that. And then also fruits. I love berries. And of course, we're coming into summer. And so summer is the time when we can really start tapping into our nutrition. And oftentimes people will make excuses for, eating healthy is expensive. Eating healthy is boring, but it's farmer's market season. And it is time to get to the farmer's market. It's not that expensive. And you can actually find a plethora of amazing fruits and vegetables from that have been grown locally. So you're supporting local, you're minimizing the carbon footprint, and you're maximizing your nourishment. Don't buy a watermelon in January that's come from Chile or Mexico. Like the footprint on that is just so, it's like by the time it gets to you, its nutritional output is minimal. So I try to, eat as in season as I possibly can. And I would encourage you to do that too. The second pillar is physical activity. Again, it's getting warm. It is time to get outside, walk, move, garden, yard work. There's so many ways. Like, this is your opportunity. If you've been lazy through the summer, this is the opportunity to get out and move. And even though it's 60 degrees and it was 40 degrees this morning, we're moving into some better weather days. So pick an activity, even if it's just walking, if it's walking the dog, if it's cycling, if it's, walking around the block. But the warmer weather makes it really easy to become more mobile. And it is easy. I totally get it. When it's cold out, when it's rainy, when it's, grim, it's easy to just want to stay in and stay under a blanket on the couch. So don't neglect the fact, like, this is your time. This is your rebirth time for your health, because all the opportunities are staring you in the face right now. The third pillar is sleep. And what's beautiful about sleep at this point in time is that with sleep, our days are longer, obviously. Now, I find this to be very silly, where I'm hearing I put the news on because I want to hear the weather, and then I listen to like some health segments and stuff. And yes, telescope, AL telescope, health is wealth. And it's also legacy. So I say there's no possible way to leave a legacy greater than health. So they're saying, they are saying, your kids are going to be out of school, and make sure that you keep them on the same sleep schedule. That it's like, it's so ridiculous. First of all, the days are longer for a reason. As humans, we adapt. We have circadian rhythms. As humans, our hormones adapt to those circadian rhythms. And your body is, as long as it's light outside, melatonin will not start to come up to make you sleepy until we start to get sun coming down. And that's how we get sleepy. And that's also, when Ken said earlier, go out into the evening, because that is actually going to stimulate when your brain gets the sunlight in the coming down, that your brain is like, oh, okay, we're supposed to start getting tired now. And so cortisol will start to come down, melatonin will start to come up. So your body is going to adapt to its own circadian rhythm based on the days. And you're going to actually need less sleep, because this is just how the body adapts. So trying to get, say, oh, if your kids go to bed at 8 or 9 o'clock every night and it's super bright out, it's really, that's such a, like, it's just bad advice. Now, obviously if you have kids, you don't really want them staying up till midnight. But my whole point is that if you can just be mindful of your body's own circadian rhythm and your kids' circadian rhythm, you'll start to get better sleep, because there's it's called sleep latency. When you lay down to go to sleep, if it takes you too long to fall asleep, that can actually disrupt your whole sleep cycle. And that's where, if it takes you too long to fall asleep, you might be going to sleep, getting into bed too early. You may not have gone out and looked at some, evening sunlight. Maybe you need some magnesium glycinate, magnesium threonate, to help get your brain to calm down and stop chattering. But there's multiple ways to do that. But the whole point is you have to respect your body's circadian rhythm. Let me answer some questions. Actually, that was 3. I have 3 more, and then let me ask questions, and then we'll go to the other 3. So, I saw a couple up here, and Mad Chick says, I thought chiro was quackery until my lower back was fixed. And that is also such a common story, is that so many people, they're like, oh, chiropractors are quacks. And then and then you're desperate and you don't know what else to do. And you're like, I don't know, medical doctors haven't been able to help me. Let me go see this quack. And then you end up getting healed and you're like, oh my God, why didn't they tell me? Why wasn't I here 10 years ago? Why wasn't I here 20 years ago? So I love that comment, because it's such a common, comment that people, people state. And sadly, they don't come to us until they're so desperate. I wish, and again, that was my mission setting out to do these shows, is that I would like for people to think of chiropractors as that first line. You're having an issue. Oh, I'm going to call the chiropractor. Like, we should be that first line of defense for you. But I get it. And it also speaks volumes for when you're in a desperate mode and you have nowhere else to go. It's like, there's nobody else who's going to be able to help you but the chiropractor. So that's our testimony, really. So keep giving that testimony, Mad Chick. I appreciate that. And Al Telescope says, I wish we could get away from glyphosate. It is not good for us. It lives in the soil. We were lied to. I test people for glyphosate all the time. And everybody that I've tested is toxic in glyphosate. It does not leave the body. One of my patients is he's a farmer. He's had super active, very healthy, does not eat garbage, lives the lifestyle, good, healthy lifestyle, ended up with stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And I tested him, and he was glyphosate toxic. And he was like, yeah, I used to spray this stuff like crazy because they told me it was safe. And he's mad. He's just pissed. So I don't blame him, because you take somebody with that kind of lifestyle and you're like, and he's like embarrassed. He's like, why was I living this super healthy lifestyle? I'm like, well, you need to keep living it. So, but yeah, that's that whole glyphosate thing, man, do not use it. If you mix Epsom salt and water with maybe like some dish soap or something, look up natural weed killer, and it works beautifully. You don't need any of that toxic stuff. Kenny says hockey is brutal. If you play, you're going to be sore somewhere after every game. And hockey, so these are my most, so besides that guy who's like, basically, I'm just going to say telling lies about chiropractors. But I've had hockey players who've come in, teenagers with compression fractures in their spine. It's crazy. Complete reversal of their neck, early degenerative arthritis at 12 years old. Like, it is crazy what hockey does to us. And then there's other sports like motocross. Motocross is another one. I'd have to say that hockey and motocross are the 2 sports that I see the most damaging effects from. AL Telescope says people who scam want to get paid and don't care whose rep they destroy. What did I say? I'm going back and I'm like, oh my gosh, I moved on. I can't remember why you said that. Insurance companies are recognizing the benefit of holistic modalities. I don't know if I agree with that, Lily. I'm not seeing it in my office. I think they say they are, and but then there's ways that they get around actually paying for it. So yeah, and insurance does pay for chiropractic, and there's caveats around that too. They're actually starting to reduce the chiropractic benefits, raising deductibles, raising co-pays, and also going back and auditing the chiropractors and taking all the money back. So they might pay for it today, but they have 5 years to go back and audit chiropractors and take all the money back, and they don't necessarily have to have a reason. So it is like, it's criminal what the insurance companies are doing. And so, yeah. And the rules around what they're going to try to pay for holistic modalities is like, what? It doesn't even make sense what they're, what they say and the hoops you have to jump through to even get that covered. Yes. Rough sport, old enough for the 6. Yes. Lily, I remember the original 6 too. I used to go to the Red Wings games in downtown Detroit at the old Olympia Stadium. My dad used to take me. So yeah. Let's see. Lily, that means you're full of wisdom. I noticed the knowledge bombs you. Yes, Lily's full of some good knowledge, and I appreciate her being here. Chef Tech says, made a batch of bison chili yesterday, most of it in the freeze dryer, 5 different organic beans, and my canned tomatoes. I love that. There's nothing like your own food that you grow or your own food that you buy in season and then preserve. Hey, Idaho Garden Girl, I haven't seen you in a while. Nice to see you. Yeah. Ken would say I'm full of something. All right. It's great. Let's see. I just want to make sure we get all these questions. And Magic says, my brain wakes up at 5:30 now. The sun hits me right in the face. Hard to go back to sleep. I'm the same way. I had a tree fall down in my front yard a few months ago. Maybe it was late last summer. And I didn't realize how much it actually, it didn't block the sun, but it shielded a lot of the sun, but now it's no longer there. So I'm wide awake at like 6:30 now because of that. I no longer have this tree shading the sun. So yeah. But I totally get that. And Kenny says, my brain tells me it's nap time, it's happy hour. Yeah. Oh, is that bad? Let's see. Magic, what a lovely way to wake up to the morning sunshine. And I agree with that too, is that, there's also things with sleep that they say, put, light blocking curtains and make sure. And now I can't have I had to put electrical tape over my, I do have a TV in my room, but I had to put electrical tape over. There was a light, like the light when the TV's on, it's blue, and when it's off, it's red. I can't with that. So there's electrical tape over it. I have to the bathroom's right outside my bedroom door, and I have these. They're not so. I guess maybe they're solar. They're not really solar lights, but anyway, they're night lights. But they go on when it's dark. And I have to keep the bathroom door shut because they will come through. It'll come through the bottom of my door. And my daughter's like, you're so crazy. I'm like, just wait till you turn my age. So yeah. No health, wealth doesn't matter much for sure, Bob. Yep. And Chef Tech says, now I understand why mom came in my room when I was little, opens the blind, rise and shine. Yes, exactly. I know. No more time. Will your money buy? Yeah. My best friend was scheduled for surgery. We friends encouraged her to see a functional chiropractor. She canceled her surgeries and is doing well. I love that. I love it. It's so amazing. And because once you cut on the human body, you cannot take it back. So yeah. Chef Tech, if you want to get tested for glyphosate, just do you still have my email? Because I can drop ship a test kit to you. It's a urine test. It's super simple. So I can drop ship the kit and they send me the results and I'll have the results in a couple of weeks. So it's really, I think it's valuable to have. But I can definitely test you for that. Let me drop my email in here just for, there we go. Just for everyone else. Yes, vinegar, right. That's right. It's Epsom salt and vinegar and maybe water, something like that for the weeds. Yes. Yeah, 30% vinegar. Yeah, it's just all natural. Yes, Kenny, I went to all the games at Olympia State. I mean, not all of them, but yeah, my dad used to take me when I was a little girl. It was awesome, wasn't it? Like classic. Yep, I know. I loved it. Yeah, nothing like old Olympia hockey. Alaska is living is rough with the 24-hour sun, 24 hours of night. Explains why there's a huge drug problem there. Yeah, I don't know how they do it up there. Yeah, I don't know. It would be enough to make me not want to live there, but I know people are like, it's beautiful here, and then they, they get by, but you'd have to really know what you're getting into, right? Lily says I should have qualified my comment on insurance companies in Canada. They are recognizing the benefits. Okay. So yeah, maybe Canada is, but here in the US, not so great. So, okay. So we just did nutrition, physical activity, so movement and sleep. And now we're going to talk about the next three. So stress management. And stress management, I mean, personally, if we are talking about stress management, I think movement also plays a role in that. Movement, breath. There are different ways to reduce your stress. People are like, oh, I can't help it. The stress is there. Yeah, the stress is always going to be there. So how do you manage your mental health around making sure that stress does not impact you? And so so the stress, it's not the stress, it's how do you not react, how do you respond to the stress? And so oftentimes, again, responding to stress properly is making sure your sleep is on point. It's making sure your diet is proper so that you're not having those inflammatory bouts. It's making sure that you're that you are moving and breathing. There's movement, exercise. So whether it's the gym, yoga, 5 deep breaths in the morning, 5 deep breaths in the evening, 5 deep breaths after you talk to a client maybe who's gotten you stressed out. But breath work can be really valuable when it comes to stress management. And I know that when we are stressed out, stress causes inflammation, it causes digestive upset, it causes cholesterol to go up, it causes cardiac issues, it causes mental emotional issues. It's constant. So, and Lily, it's the number one cause of health related issues. Yeah, it's the number one cause here in the US of emergency room visits, because it causes all of these other issues. So you have to recognize that if you are not managing your stress properly, if you recognize that you have stress and you're not managing it properly, and then of course your outlook on that stress, then it's going to affect your health. I've said this before, is that your body does not know if you are, what's a good example? Like I say, maybe you have to deal with a difficult client or patient, or your spouse, your kids. Maybe you have to talk to the school with something with your kids, or maybe it's traffic. I don't know, a deadline of some sort, or you're working on a project. Stress comes in so many forms. But the problem is your body doesn't know that you have a deadline to work on a project to get submitted, or if you're being chased by a saber-toothed tiger. So always remember that. Do I think I'm being chased by a saber-toothed tiger? And if you're feeling, oh man, the tiger's nipping at my heels, you've got to stop and you have to slow down and you have to reset. Breath work is a great way to make sure that you are getting yourself back into rest, digest, and repair, or your parasympathetic nervous system. So sympathetic nervous system is fight or flight. That's that saber-toothed tiger chasing you. Parasympathetic is rest, digest, and repair. So we always have to work at moving ourselves to rest, digest, and repair. I've talked often about getting a balloon and just blowing up a balloon once an hour, because that whole that breath pattern automatically resets your parasympathetic nervous system. It brings you into rest, digest, and repair. So I love breath work through balloons, because if you put a balloon right on your desk, you see it and you're like, huh, and you know, instead of like, I think that's just an easier way to do that, instead of like, oh, something stressed me out, I better sit here and I better be like I think that's harder. It's a harder way to get your breath work in. Speaking of stress, these feathers, he's walking through a field, these beautiful little feathers. This poor bird, I'm sure, was stressed out. It was just a plethora of feathers in a pile. And I'm certain that some hawk took it away. Aren't they beautiful? And I picked up all its feathers to honor this poor little bird that got stressed out and lost its life. So sorry, those were like all over my table, and I like saw a squirrel. Okay, so anywho, all right. So it's stress. Substance avoidance. And so substance avoidance comes in multiple forms. So this is excessive alcohol, excessive, it could even be in the form of like foods. So processed foods. It could be in the form of chemicals on your body, chemicals in your home, cleaning products, laundry detergent. Like there's so many substances that we're exposed to that are toxic, and that we have to start paying attention to and getting those out of our environment. So what you put on your body and in your body is just as important. And substances are interesting, because if we think about, we get into this whole like, there's a lot of articles about we shouldn't have alcohol, right? And so I call it, in menopause, I'm like, oh yeah, it's the no fun diet. Women are told like, no more wine, no more cocktails, no more, you can't even go out and have a social glass of wine without feeling like you're going to gain 10 pounds. And yet when you think about, let's say like, the Mediterranean diet, these people, they're sitting down for 2 and 3 hours, having a leisurely meal, sipping on wine. It's a very different environment. So from a substance perspective, what are these circumstances around that? Are you stressed out and you're like, I just got to have a cocktail, whatever it is that you feel like you have to, I got to have something because I had a stressed out, whatever. Ask yourself why you're doing it. Just ask yourself why you're doing it, because going into any kind of substance for calming and relaxation, when you are like, I need it for stress, or, I'm angry, or my kids or my wife, that's not a good enough reason. You have to really start getting real with yourself. Is don't rely on outside things to help you calm and center. Calm and center first. Then those things can actually be beneficial. But we should not have this outside in approach before we actually like tap into what your body is capable of doing. Your body is brilliant, and your body can actually get you to calm down before we reach for things. So many people are taking over the counter sleep aids. And it's like, oh my God, those things are horrible. And they're like, yeah, but I sleep like a baby. No, you don't. It actually disrupts your sleep cycles. So when you wake up in the morning, you think you slept well, but your your sleep cycles, your brain did not heal, your brain did not detox, your brain is not ready for the day. You're probably going to have a mid-morning crash. You might have a mid-afternoon crash. It might actually give you more food cravings. So start thinking about, what do you reach for from the outside that maybe you need to tap into what your body actually can do. Have more faith in your body than you do. And then the last thing, number 6, is positive social connections. And of course, we saw this during COVID. A lot of the elderly people, they passed away. They passed away by themselves. Positive social connections. This is one of the cornerstones for the blue zones, for communities that have members of their community that live up into their 90s, into the hundreds, so the centenarians. One of the cornerstones of centenarians is that they actually are, they have this strong social network. It's a tribe. They do not leave their elderly alone. And the elders are seen as just that, elders in the community. People respect them, and they're still a part of the community. They don't get neglected. So make sure that you have a good, strong sense of community, and that you're tapping into that. And again, this is where, like, if you don't really have, you're like, I don't know what to do. Exercise classes are great. Like, this is a great way to start to pull multiple of these pillars together. So take an exercise class. My mom used to go to the senior center, and she would go to cooking classes at the senior center and with other people. And then she'd go to exercise classes at the senior center. And so she had a community of people. She got involved with the Novi Community Theater. And so she had a community of people. So finding groups of people that you can connect with is really critical for our longevity. Email sent. I may have to send for my work email like that. Okay, I'll double check. I don't have it open right now. But I did save your email from before. So if I didn't get it, I'll shoot you an email and say I didn't get it. So a good sense of haha goes a long way to reduce stress. Laughter is the best medicine for sure. So that's a great idea. Then twist it into a cute critter. That might have been in response to something. The balloon.
The balloon, yeah.
Yeah, balloon animals. I know. Could never do the darn balloon animals. The balloon might scare away the saber-toothed tiger too. I think I remember Calvin and Hobbes episode where balloon scared Hobbes. That's funny. The best. Oh my God, Calvin and Hobbes is the best. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Yep. There's the critter. Balance, young grasshopper. Balance. It's overconsumption that's the problem. Enjoying a glass of wine on occasion. Yep, for sure. Right. And again, like asking yourself, like if you come home and you're like, and you pop the wine and you're like, good. And you haven't even had dinner yet. Like, that is not the way to do it. Not the way to do it. So start paying attention to yourself, your habits. And is that saber-toothed tiger nipping on your heels? Okay, sent from work email too. Great, guaranteed to get it. And the gardens are, oh my gosh, being outside is amazing. I'm with you, Lily, and I can't wait to get my flowers planted. We had a frost last night, you guys. Like, I'm like, I can't even get my garden planted. I've got some tomato plants. I planted cucumbers. My cucumbers didn't make it. They're donezo. Like, it's kind of crazy what's happening right here, right now. So anyway, you can always learn a little something from your elders. That is true. I know. I always think about, like, oh my gosh, my older patients, I just love talking to them and the stories they tell and the wisdom that they have. And they, they appreciate people talking to them and asking them those questions and diving into their past. Like, they want to tell their stories. So, yeah, you get an opportunity to talk to an older person. Yeah, tap in. There is some serious wisdom there. So, all right, so let me recap. So our lifestyle, we're talking about our 6 pillars: nutrition, physical activity, sleep, stress management, substance, and positive social connections. So our lifestyle medicine, this is not designed to mask symptoms. So tap into each of these first. The other thing too with this, and this is what I talked to a lot of my patients about, and yesterday when I was at the when I was at that event. And like I said, all these women were coming up to me and asking me about, do I help women in perimenopause? And then, many of them were asking the question. They were like, well, should I go on hormones? And I'm like, well, you have to get your lifestyle in check first. Now, and then some woman said to me, she was 45. And she said, well, I should probably wait till I go through menopause, right? And I go, no, if you don't do things today and now, then that's where that crazy roller coaster hits these poor women. And they're like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. And then they run to get hormone therapy. And then, which they might have to do in a crisis. But then it's like, let's work on lifestyle and let's see how much we can manage through lifestyle medicine. And then once all that is dialed in, if you are then like, oh my gosh, I can't think clearly. I'm having hot flashes. I'm having night sweats. I'm, have no sex drive, like whatever the things are, then that's when I would send you to go get an evaluation for hormone therapy. So, because also if you go to hormone therapy from the jump and you don't take care of all the things, that's a Band-Aid. So you have got to get your lifestyle in check as best as you possibly can. And that's where, and I know I just touched on these 6 pillars today, but that's where, if you're interested in diving deeper, I can always go deeper with you. We can do a quick discovery call and I can, we can talk about what that looks like, customize a program for you and find out where you need to start. Each and every woman that I work with has a different starting point. And so my programs are very customized and very curated to each and every woman, their health issues, their history, what their goals and desires are. So I put my email in there so we can, let's see, Ken, where's my email? I'm gonna pop that up on the screen again. There it is. There she is. And so, yeah, if you're interested in going further, and then Magic just emailed me with regards to getting glyphosate tested. I do digestive testing. I can do that all through virtual. So I do a lot of telehealth with a lot of people around the country. So happy to have you happy to help you. All right, let's see. So Kenny says, I'm older and have stories for days. Yes, I'm sure you do, Kenny. And I've heard many of them. Gather around, chitlins. Chef Tech says, you're going to come down to the food independent. I am her cameraman. That's so fun. I am like, I'm 50-50. I'm looking at that weekend and I'm trying to come. I'm trying to get there. But it's with the dates, there's some things with my office. So I'm hoping to get there. I will keep you posted. And yeah, maybe I could do a little camera work too. We could go like 2 angles or something. So that'd be great. And I'd love to meet you guys in person. It'd be so much fun. As long as it resonates with you, then you are ready to receive the wisdom. Yes. 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 When the student is ready, the teacher appears, right? Yeah. Wednesday, Thursday. I know that's the thing. I'm in the office on Thursdays. So I would have to see if I just take Thursday off. I don't think I can come down just for the day, but I'll figure it out. And I'm not in the office on Wednesdays. So I don't know. I think it would be super fun. So I'll keep you posted. Okay, you guys. Wow, it is 7:14. And that you guys are amazing. I appreciate all your questions. Let me know in the comments, which part of this lifestyle, where would you start? Where do you need help? And one of the things with these 6 pillars is if you take each and every one of them and you put them, if you take them like a wheel, so your hub in the center, and each one is a spoke on a wheel. And if you went 0 to 10, and 10 would be the outer portion of the wheel. So if all 6 of these pillars were 10, your wheel would be round. But if you've got some of these things, and you know what, I probably should add in there, I missed spiritual. I think spiritual needs to be in there as well. And that's not necessarily to say religious. It's just, what is your spiritual alignment? Personally, I do think that, having some sort of spiritual sense, I mean, you put a seed in the ground, a tiny seed, and you see it grow into something insane. And I'm like, I don't know. That's pretty divine to me. So, but anyway, if you looked at that wheel, if you look at your wheel, where does each pillar sit with you, ranking it 0 to 10? And some of you might say, oh yeah, my nutrition is a 5, my movement is a 4, or my movement is a 10, but my sense of community is a 3. I need to get out more. So that's a really great way to start looking and ranking at what you need to be working on and tapping into. Thanks, Lily. You are awesome too, my friend. I appreciate you. And Al Telescope says a lot of people just need a nudge of inspiration to start their journey. Yeah, and that's where, like I said, I try to give you guys just enough, and also giving you the permission that you don't have to do what your neighbor did, because what your neighbor needed and started with might be very different from what you need and started with. And that's where I think a lot of the confusion comes from out, on the internet, is that you're told, oh, you have to do this. Oh, if you want to do this, start here. Everybody has a different starting point. So give yourself some grace. And, just because it worked for your neighbor doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Yes, exactly, Matt Chick. If the wheels if the spoke on the wheels are the wrong length, it's gonna be a little bumpy ride for sure. So, and yes, I don't move enough. Perfect. So if you know you don't move enough, get out there and just start moving, and walk a little further when you go to the store, or get up and walk around the block, or just any way that you can start moving more. Find a field that you can go walk in. I love being in fields because they're just peaceful, and I love nature. So, or I'm surrounded by state parks, so I feel really fortunate. I could throw a stone and I'm at a path anywhere I can be. So, find that, start to look around and see where you can go. Get out in nature, because that's also very fulfilling for your mental health. So you're moving and you're doing something for your mental health. You're breathing. You're taking in the outside world. Don't put headphones on. Enjoy the sounds of nature. And Al says, I'm going to take the dog for a walk when you're done. Nice. Good job. Yes. Have a great night as well. And yes, I want to see pictures of your garden. Lily says, I get up and dance on a whim to some great music. I'm with you. I'm always singing in my office, music that makes me sing. So, okay, you guys, that is it. I'm going to shut my Sunday down. I appreciate you all being here. Again, if there's something you want to hear me talk about, some topic that you're just yearning to dive into, just let me know. I am happy to bring it to you. So with that, I will say, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Thank you all so much for being here and supporting this channel. And thanks again, Ken, for allowing us to stream over on It's All About the Biology. So we'll see you guys soon. See ya.